welcome everyone, including all of the attendees watching from home. This is the 5th Annual Hog Factor 2020 competition. I'm going to introduce myself first. So my name is Noah. I'm a product support specialist with High-End Systems, and joining me as my other host is Megan.
Hey y'all, I'm also a product support specialist at High-End, so it's great. Noah and I basically do the same thing.
So we have 3 schools with us today. We'll explain how the rules of Hog Factor work normally. We'll talk about how we're doing it this year. But first, we'd like to just go ahead and introduce our judges that will be judging the 3 schools' submissions today. So first, we have Matt Guminski.
Hey guys, I'm Matt Guminski. I am a freelance lighting and production designer here in New York City. I work in everything from theater to rock and roll to cruise ships to live events. Some bands I've been on tour with are Alice in Chains, Evanescence, Mr. Wives, The Cult, Neon Trees, just to name a few. So pleasure to be here. Thanks for having me, guys.
Hey guys, how's it going? I'm Charles Ford. I'm also a production designer as well. I've toured with a couple of artists such as Carly Rae Jepsen, Prince, Young the Giant, a bunch of random corporate shows, and I'm excited to do this with you guys. So,
thank you, Charles. We have Andreas Fink.
Hi, everybody. My name is Andreas Fink. I'm a lighting designer and production designer as well. Based in Austria and Europe, doing worldwide touring the last years for a couple of events. Also, I'm a hog trainer for the Austrian distributor, and I do 100 trainings the last 7 years, I think so. Yeah, I use hogs since whole 2 systems, and I still love it. It's the fastest way to bring out your creative ideas, and that's the best. Thanks for having me.
Glad to be here. My name is Brandon Gauthier. I'm a freelance lighting video designer, programmer, and I'm usually the guy who gets the phone call with the question, hey, we have a problem, and we needed it solved yesterday. So I do a lot of work in themed entertainment, some really niche projects with touring and corporate events and installation work, cruise ships, and theater is also a very strong background that I have as well. Glad to be here.
Thanks, y'all. So now we're going to go ahead and introduce the teams. So let's start with Texas State University, which the team name is Hamburglers. We have Andrew and Mackenzie. Do you guys want to introduce yourselves real quick?
Sure. Hi, my name is Mackenzie Mulligan, and I am a second-year graduate student studying lighting design at Texas State University.
And I'm Andrew McDaniels, and I am a third-year lighting design student doing my master's at Texas State University.
Awesome. We also have Southern Methodist University. This is actually a team of 1. We have Philip Powers, sponsored by his professor, Steve Woods. You want to introduce yourself, Philip?
Hi, all. I'm Philip Powers. I'm a third-year lighting and scenic graduate student from Southern Methodist University, and I am the team name Bacon Towers.
And finally, our last team is Webster University with the team name The Ghostlights. Do you guys want to introduce yourselves?
Yeah, hi, I'm Madeline Reid. I'm a senior lighting design major at Webster, and I'm from Houston, Texas.
Hey, I'm Jonathan Scully. I'm a junior studying lighting design at Webster University, and I'm from St. Louis, Missouri.
Hi, I'm Grant. I'm a junior technical director with a second emphasis in lighting design. I'm originally from Austin, Texas.
We actually have 2 returning finalist schools, so Southern Methodist University and Webster. SMU, you were in the competition in 2018, and Webster last year in 2019, and then y'all actually won in 2016. So this is actually Texas State's first time in the finalist round. They've definitely submitted before, but this is their first time in the finalist round. And now that we have kind of introduced all of the judges and all of the teams, let's go ahead and talk about the rules of Hog Factor if we were under sort of normal circumstances. Megan?
Yeah, so real quick, just so that you guys know how long we've had Hog Factor, we started Hog Factor in 2015, and how it usually goes is there's a first round where students get to go and pick out of 3 songs to pick 1 song to design to. And then once that song is designed to, they submit it to High-End. A group of internal judges at High End and ETC now will select the top 3 submissions based on the same judging criteria that is being used today for this round of the competition. And then you would generally graduate to those top 3 teams go to phase 2 or the final phase of Hog Factor, where they get to compete actually at LDI, well, usually at LDI, and they get to actually program to a whole new song. All 3 students get the same song to program to on the High End Systems booth, which is usually has a lot of lights on it, and it's really fun. So Noah, why don't you tell us what we're adjusting to today, since this is not LDI?
Sure. So this is 2020, where we are dealing with a global crisis pandemic. So we all have to be distance, and that's why we're hosting this year's Hog Factor online. Also, LDI will obviously not be in person as well. So what we've decided to do is we've actually taken the phase 1 submissions that every school submitted, and we're actually going to use those for final judging. So in July, we had an internal panel of High End Systems and ETC employees watch all of the submissions, give their ranking, give their feedback, and then the top 3 teams were tallied up, and that is the 3 teams in front of us today. So we're going to watch basically your final phase 1 submission videos today. Maegan, do you want to talk about the prizes that we're actually going to be giving out to these schools and the students?
Yeah, so first off, each student, no matter what place you get, you're going to be getting a ETC Nomad software package so that you can control both EOS and Hog. Obviously, we want you to keep using Hog as as the competition is over. We want you to keep using it. Hopefully, you've had fun. All 3 of these teams did a great show, so I think that they have a good future with them with their Hog programming. They will also be invited to be part of the ETC mentorship program as well, which is great, so that we can keep going the next generation of lighting designers and programmers. Now, the third place prize, though, will be a Hoglet console for the school, along with a Capture Solo license. And then the second place prize will be a Hedgehog 4X for the school with a Capture Duet. And then the first place prize gets a Roadhog 4 with a Capture Quartet for the school as well. Yeah, and I think these are all be great. It's going to be very tough for each. It's going to be very tough for each school, just because the submissions were so good for these top 3 schools.
They were.
Yeah. Noah, let's talk about how we're judging today.
Yeah, so the 4 judges that are joining us today are going to be judging the submitted videos on 5 categories, all weighed equally. So the first category is design, the second category is timing, the third is programming, the fourth is the it factor, and the last one is the difficulty. Those are the 5 categories that they will be judging on today, and we're going to go right into streaming the videos.
So what's going to happen is we're going to stream each video. So the first team is going to be Texas State University's team video.
You never get free, lamb to the slaughter. What you gonna do when there's blood in the water? The price of your greed is your son and your daughter. What you gonna do when there's blood in the water? Look me in my eyes, tell me everything's not fine. All the people ain't happy, and the river has run dry. You thought you could go free, but that system is done for. If you listen real closely, there's a knock at your front door. You'll never get free, lamb to the slaughter. What you gonna do when there's blood in the water? The price of your greed is your son and your daughter. What you gonna do when there's blood in the water? When there's blood in the water. just for another dollar in your pocket. Now I am the violence, I am the sickness, won't accept your silence, beg me for forgiveness. We'll never get free, lamb to the slaughter. What you gonna do when there's blood in the water? The price of your greed, your son and your daughter. What you gonna do when there's blood in the water? When there's blood in the water. When there's blood in the
Cool. All right, we got everybody back. So that was Texas State University's submission for Phase 1 of Hog Factor. I just have a bit of a student or a question for you guys. What was the process like for y'all when designing this piece?
Sure. So the process was really interesting, mainly due to the fact that we actually designed this entire piece all the way across the country. So Mackenzie was in Texas and I was in Georgia. We did it all online through Zoom, sharing my screen with the programmer and the previs and just using our design brains together to kind of create this. And you're going to talk about it.
Yeah, and before we even started programming, Andrew and I talked a lot about the song itself and some recurring themes we found within the music. And then we also talked a lot about very specific color usage because of the name of the song, Blood and Water. We really felt like we had to have red and blue in the song because it's such a prominent theme. It would feel wrong if it wasn't. But we spent a lot of time talking about the value of red and the value of blue that we wanted to use. So, yeah, there was a lot of talk and decision-making up front before we even started programming.
Yeah, awesome. Well, awesome. I do want to say for everyone that is watching, the judges have actually sort of pre-screened these videos, so they have actually very closely watched them several times and discussed among themselves. They don't know their final results yet, but I just want to say that they have had several chances to look over the videos, and so they're going to give their feedback now as far as what they enjoyed about the video and where they might have maybe needed some improvement. So we're going to start off with Matt. What's kind of your feedback for our students?
Andrew Mackenzie, nice work. I really, really liked your timing. There was some really beautiful usage of, fan delay times and fan timings, which shows, that you dug in there. It was really, really nice. I did have some observations. I don't know if it was a choice. I did notice a couple of times there were lights that looked like they didn't mark and kind of went into a position. I don't know if that was an artistic choice or what, but just, I like to mark a lot of my cues unless there's an intentional choice. So I'm, to each their own. I thought that you have really, I liked the breakdown of the chorus. I really thought that was very, very cool. I think that you're on the right path. That was a good pass at it, and I'm excited for you guys to be here. So thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Awesome. And Charles, do you want to give your thoughts now?
Absolutely. Hey guys, so I thought it looked really good. There was some really, really good choices on just like some of the big looks you created. Very tasteful. I also thought you guys had some really good color choices as well. The pixel mapping I thought was very tasteful as well. I thought it really fit the song. It's very like it went with the music really, really well. I also enjoyed the gobo selection. It was a really good gobo, probably the best gobo for that song. And the musical accents definitely were very tasteful as well. I would say for the choruses, I would slow things down a bit with the pan tilt effect. I know that the goal is to try to create movement with music, but maybe try to find another attribute to do that with. But overall, I thought it was really good. So.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Awesome. Andreas.
Yes, first, congratulations. Really, really good. I like it. So for me, the best is also the gobo selection. In the moment, you can see so many designs, they don't use gobos. Everybody wants to see beam effects. So I like the gobo selection really, really. It's cool. So for me, I would use just one blue, so a dark blue or a light blue, but that's me. It's your choice. You can do that. So red and blue is a different. It's a difficult color combination for me. When the beams are crossing, you have a magenta, and so you have so many red and magenta and blue tones. So maybe I would do it other ways, but it's your choice, and that's not that's bad. I am saying it. So congratulations, well done.
Thank you for the feedback. I didn't even think about the cross color.
Yeah, same. Thank you.
Yeah, great job, guys. There were a lot of strong choices that were made. The things that really stood out to me, I'll echo what the other judges have said, was the fan timing. You guys spent I can tell you spent a lot of time and thought into what those timing delays were going to be for a lot of those sweeps, and you picked up these really subtle musical accents a lot. There was a lot of thought and time. Like, you probably are sick of listening to this song because I could tell. I'm the same way. I would pick up those little tiny moments, and sometimes you don't have the time to pick them out, and you guys did a really great job with that. Again, with echoing the use of gobos. So all of us judges here know this rig really well, and those unos are a one-shot trick, a one-trick pony. In the way that you guys utilize those unos and the gobo and the floor profiles to create that rotation effect that almost blended right in with the unos was really, really nice for me. What else did I write? There was right at the breakdown, the big shift that you went into going into the chorus and into the break, going out of the chorus into the breakdown was also very strong. And I think for me, I wanted to see, after the breakdown in that final chorus, I wanted to see just a little bit more change, or a bigger build in that last moment of the song leading up to the final moment there, because we had just a little bit different from the two previous choruses, because we've now reached the end of the song. But just outstanding job, guys. You guys did a wonderful job.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
I did actually have a question really quick. So I noticed at one point you guys had all the profiles on the upstage truss, and it looked like they were like you put the shutters in. But then I wasn't sure if it was that, and then I thought I noticed the next chorus or one of that, they started rotating. So was it the gobo or the shutters?
So it's actually a linear prism. So each chorus we tried to add in a little extra bit. So they were just there the first time, then it was linear, and then the prism started to rotate.
Yeah, it's just hard to tell on previs sometimes if it's a prism, if it's shutters, or whatever. So cool, great job, guys.
Thanks.
And real quick before we go, Chris Munchow in the chat said, "Well done, solid timing, nice unique looks." So good job, guys. Cool. So you want to introduce the next team, Noah?
Sure, yeah. So our next team is going to be Southern Methodist University. Your team name was, I have it written down somewhere, Bacon Powers. This is Philip Powers' submission. So I will get that queued up, and Megan, if you'll get that YouTube link posted.
And it's in the chat.
You never get free, lamb to the slaughter. What you gonna do when there's blood in the water? The price of your greed is your son and your daughter. What you gonna do when there's blood in the water? Look me in my eyes, tell me everything's not fine. All the people ain't happy, and the river has run dry. You thought you could go free, but the system is done for. If you listen real closely, there's a knock at your front door. You'll never get free, lamb to the slaughter. What you gonna do when there's blood in the water? The price of your greed is your son and your daughter. What you gonna do when there's blood in the water? When there's blood in the water. Admit you were toxic. You poisoned me just for another dollar in your pocket. Now I am the violence, I am the sickness. Won't accept your silence. Beg me for forgiveness. We'll never get free, lamb to the slaughter. What you gonna do when there's blood in the water? The price of your greed, your son and your daughter. What you gonna do when there's blood in the water? When there's blood in the water. When there's blood in the
Thanks for that submission. And Philip, what was the most enjoyable part of your of the submission? And did you come up with any? Were there any kind of challenges you faced being a solo team?
My most enjoyable part through the process and sort of the final product was finding sort of unique ways of trying to do something new with the Unos and finding sort of doing a manual chaser with them, but something that took a little bit more efficiency in figuring out how to program. Challenges for being a team of one is definitely for me sort of keeping myself accountable to time. There's definitely the nights where all of a sudden I looked up and I realized the sun was rising and I'd just been programming through the night. So it would have been nice to have someone say, hey, Phil, it's like 4 a.m. We should probably call it a day.
Oh, yeah. No one in here has ever been through that one. Matt, do you want to kick us off with some words or constructive criticism?
Yeah, of course. Philip, nice work. A lot of LDs would disagree with me on this, but these are the colors you chose are two of my favorites. I love the blues. I love the greens. I love playing in that family. I really liked that intro, like after the beginning when you had the snapping colors and the zoom. I really, really liked that. I felt like you had a lot going on with that, so that really, really nice effect, unless you were like really keened in on seeing what was going on, kind of got a little bit lost. But I did notice how, exactly what you said, how you were, coming up with new ideas for different fixtures to make it unique. I felt like there were a couple of different genres of design in there. I felt like moments of heightened theatricality, felt EDM moments, I felt rock and roll moments. So my big thing for you would be like, hone, like a song might be in that direction, a little more theatrical or a little more EDM-y, but just kind of like stay in that family. You know what I mean? Like don't, because it'll slowly start to get a little convoluted. But I really did like, I liked how you pulled to the guitar player, like going into the bridge. I really liked that theatricality where you're pulling in. I loved that in the second verse, that bounce look on the lead singer from the washes on the side truss. I really thought that was really nice. It was in time. It was really, really cool. I thought you did some really nice pixel mapping on the strips on the upstage side. And one other thing, and I don't know because, it's just something that I noticed and I was trying to tap tempo on it. The drum hits in the verse are really, really cool. That beginning verse where they're like, they're kind of hitting what's going on with the SPDX. It feels like there's one extra step in there, and I could be horribly wrong on this. I don't take my word for it, but if you ever want to go back and look at it, just look at it. I just felt like it was really, really cool effect, and then there was an extra one, and I was like, what's that extra one for? So I found myself trying to hear that beat that I was missing. So, but all in all, I thought you did a really great job, and, thanks and congratulations for making it this far.
Thank you very much, Matt.
Yeah, so I thought it looked really good. Thought there was some really cool, like, I couldn't tell at the beginning if it was a zoom effect or an iris effect, but I thought that was pretty cool. It's like a snap that happens. Really was into that. Great choice in colors. I would say for some of the fixture movements, maybe, I know in the visualizer they can move as fast as they did, and I think it's really cool if they could move that fast. I think that maybe just slowing it down in the real world may be more realistic, because I'm afraid that the fixtures may not move that fast in the real world. What else was there? So I saw, just with that same thing, it's like in the audience perspective of that movement, it might be a little hard to catch all the other cool stuff you were doing with accenting and music. And I will say that during the second chorus, I really liked the speed of the movement, the speed of all the color effects. It was really, really tasteful to the music. And the last cue, the fade out, I thought that was awesome. So that's what I got.
Thank you very much.
I agree with Matt and Charles, so it's easy to give criticism as third. So most of them is said, but I like really much the asymmetric bumps on your design, and the combination of movement and color FX you have programmed looks great. Same as Charles said, when it doesn't work from the speed of the fixtures in the visualizer, you have no chance to have it in the real world in this fast movement. So when you do a design, it's important, or when I do a design, it's important what kind of fixtures I must use. And then you must see what can I do with the fixtures. So that's the only thing. And last, congratulations, really, really fantastic programming. And the colors, I like the colors too. So well done.
Thank you so very much.
The color choices were the first thing that struck me as well. As a theatrical designer, first and foremost, utilizing green is so challenging. So that when I see it used very well, I thought it was always very exciting for me. I loved those beam and zoom effects that you did there in the opening verse with the utilizing the beams and the zoom simultaneously to create all of those snare hits there. The one thing that I always love doing, I love trying to do this and accomplish this, and you would accomplish it very well, is that faux laser effect going into the build of chorus 1 there with coming out of the floor fixtures there. I think it was a gobo shake or maybe a really fast rotation, but that's it's a really fun effect when you can utilize it, and you utilize it very, very well. The asymmetrical focus palettes that you had there, asymmetry is such a strong choice. We see symmetry all the time. So when I see it done in a fashion that you've done, I really, really love to see that choice. What lost it for me was we had so much going on that we couldn't see that asymmetric choice being executed because there were other things flashing in our face at the same time. So I would say if you're going to make that choice, make sure that we can really see it and so that it supports everything, because it was beautiful. I love, we see symmetry all of the time. So it was executed well. And the entire time I could see from start to finish the build, you kept the energy moving forward the entire time. And I do think when we got to the end, there just was so much going on that you had so many choices happening that I wasn't sure which one to pay attention to towards the end there. And then it all came back, and you ended on a super strong note with that ending fade. So great job.
Thank you.
Chris Mencho also put in the chat for you, Philip, that you did a good job matching the energy of the music. Just maybe dial back the pan tilt sequence just a tad bit on the effects. But overall, good composition, and he's really impressed with the submission so far.
All right. So we're going to move on to our last video, our third submission. So the last video we have is going to be from Webster University. These students are Madeline Reed, Jonathan Scully, and Grant Box.
You never get free, lamb to the slaughter. What you gonna do when there's blood in the water? The price of your greed is your son and your daughter. What you gonna do when there's blood in the water? Look me in my eyes, tell me everything's not fine. All the people ain't happy, and the river has run dry. You thought you could go free, but the system is done for. If you listen real closely, there's a knock at your front door. You'll never get free, lamb to the slaughter. What you gonna do when there's blood in the water? The price of your greed is your son and your daughter. What you gonna do when there's blood in the water? When there's blood in the water. Admit you were toxic. You poisoned me just for another dollar in your pocket. Now I am the violence, I am the sickness. Won't accept your silence, beg me for forgiveness. We'll never get free, lamb to the slaughter. What you gonna do when there's blood in the water? The price of your greed, your son and your daughter. What you gonna do when there's blood in the water? When there's blood in the water. When there's blood in the water.
Awesome, y'all.
All right, I think we've got just about everybody back. Good job, excellent submission from everybody. So I was just kind of curious for you guys, since y'all were our sort of team of three, did each member of the team have like a specific role, like designer and programmer, or like did y'all just kind of all work together on it equally, or kind of like what kind of a process did y'all have?
With our process, we all started in like different parts of the country, like Texas State did, and we all kind of started on Hog4 PC, kind of making our own ideas. And we all got together on Zoom one day and started sharing our ideas. And then once we chose a direction, I was able to borrow a console from our school, Rode Hog4, and I was the one programming our final demo while we were like all contributing to the design. And I was able to like share the visualizer, so all of us were able to contribute equally to that.
That's awesome. That's awesome that y'all were able to figure out a solution and figure out how to program remotely by being across state lines. Cool. So judges, if you guys are ready to go ahead and give your feedback, Matt, we'll start with you.
Well, Madeline, Jonathan, and Grant, excellent work. I really, like, this is an example to me, it felt like a very theatrically programmed song. You had very theatrical moments. I really liked the Uno idea at the beginning. I just wish the Unos were maybe tilted up a little bit higher. Maybe at the waist, you could get that kind of radiating light so you could see the singer a little bit more. And it might have been a little bit more dynamic if you didn't do the stage wash. You just kept it dark, because sometimes the absence of light makes a brilliant lighting design as well. So just keep that in mind. I really loved your water texture, the effect you got going on the floor. I thought that was very, very cool. I liked the spot building. You had this look. It was the first time that you just had a back spot on each of the band members. Like, I really, really liked that. It was the first time we really isolated all those guys, and I'll tell you, there are plenty of drummers out there that wish they were lit way brighter than the lead singer. So, the fact that you gave them a little bit of props and lit them up, that was really, really great. I really liked your pixel mapping. I thought that was really great. I really, really liked that floor, that linear floor gobo. As somebody who would be touring that would be such a pain to focus every day, but it looks so good. It was just a really vibrant texture. So really nice work there. And I really liked how towards the breakdown at the end, you dropped into these more no color looks, which just gave it a way more dynamic building, kind of a way to go, a direction to go, rather than using the red and the blue. Something that I would say is I felt the chorus at times got a little repetitive with that sine wave just going and going, and everything was kind of going like as big as it could go or as fast as it could go. I would say like tighten some of that down, choose a fixture that is going to be doing that movement, and then maybe do some aerials with the other stuff, or just turn them off. But really, I really loved your texture and your colors, and great work, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Charles?
Yeah. Hey, so I thought it was awesome. I really liked. I liked a lot of the looks. I will say that there was a spot during the right before the build of the build into the choruses. I really liked what the side lights were doing. It really accented the music really well. It was just really, really well executed. Actually, going back a second to something that Matt said about the intro cue, I like the idea of the lights that were on the lead singer. I just think that it should have, like I said, tilted up a little bit more. But you actually hit that. I think my note. I think you hit the note of what I would actually have done at the end cue. So if you could do what you did at the end, at the beginning, I think it would be, it would fix that one. I felt the pixel mapping was a little generic, but at the same time, I still felt that it fit the song. Your breakdowns, again, like I said, were really good going into to the last chorus. I will say on the last chorus, I did get a little lost with some of the movement effects. It was a little bit fast, and a lot of the stuff was still there where it was going with music, but just some of the movement stuff was a little distracting. But overall, I thought that the programming was really well done, and it was really well executed. So good job, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Andreas?
What I like is you painting the lights, painting pictures with your lights in the verses. So that's really cool. And I love in the second refrain the flip of the Prisma. It's just one time, and the floor is. It's a really, really, really cool idea. I will copy it. So that's cool. What they don't like, I can't understand some of your face values in doing your movements with the Unos in the back. For me, it looks wrong. So I think you want to have a circle. So or I want to do it with a circle, but you go just the front, left, right, up. It looks a little bit weird, but maybe you want it like this. So yeah, all other stuff is fantastic. Congratulations. I hope we can all work together in the future. Maybe that would be fine. Yeah, congratulations.
Thank you.
Thanks, Andreas.
Thank you.
Then our final judge, Brandon.
Great job, guys. You had amazing timing. The pixel map used for me was really cool. It's the LED strips on the back wall there are an obvious choice for pixel mapping, but you guys looked like you also brought some pixel mapping out into the Unos as well, which I love seeing that type of stuff being done across the entire rig. Your builds into the chorus and the linear prism effect that went into the circles, like updating that focus palette every day would also be challenging, and it looks beautiful though. When I saw that, I was like, that attention to detail of the floor, the stage floor, is something that a lot of designers don't think about because you're worried about the performers and the aesthetic of what the audience is going to see, but that floor does exist. And when you can create that cohesiveness and do it very well, you did make some really great choices there. What else? I loved the 301 through 330 sine wave that we saw there, right? It was very linear. I normally would not like that choice, but you guys did it well. It is a quick way to get a dynamic look going, but you guys did it well, and I didn't get bored of it. So it did make me, it did stick out to me. I love that each of your courses was different. They were all a little bit different. You created different looks and different energy builds in there. And what I think people, especially newer designers, are trying to figure out is how do we tell a story with light to support the music, to support what's happening on stage. You guys did that very well, because when after the final breakdown we got into the final chorus, I saw elements from the rest of the performance. They were all kind of subtly tied in together there towards the end. And it landed on a really high, strong note for me. Just great, wonderful job, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. I'm just going to go ahead and read a couple of the comments that came in from the chat. So Noah, not me, another Noah, said, very nice, everyone. Watching those, maybe want to take a vacation day and go play with my hog. Shona said, excellent job, great work. And Chris said, good job supporting the music and hitting each moment. As Andreas mentioned, be careful with those seesaw effects as they can create interest and fatigue. And Bruce says, the designer's real-world application comments are awesome. Oh, that's not a comment, just kidding. So yeah, judges, is there anything else that you would like to say to my final submission here?
I have a question to all three teams. How many of you guys utilized time code? Was this done manually? Were you using, auto follows? What was kind of the process? I'd be interested to see. As someone who works a lot with time code and show control, I'm curious to see what your guys' process was there.
I can start with our team. We hit all of our goes manually. We started exploring time coding, but our process was really short. So we just thought hitting the goes was going to be easier for our process.
I'm definitely a big fan of time code, so I went down the time code rabbit hole.
It is a rabbit hole for sure. If you start that route, it can get very, very long, and that's why you're up till 4 o'clock in the morning programming.
We decided not to go down the time code route, but we did. There's a huge chunk that uses hangs and follows, and that always gets fun.
To tag off of what Brandon was asking, did anyone use any kind of macros, so like comment macros, any keystroke macros, any of that stuff to fire lists, or did you just bang this all into one queue list?
I used a myriad of both comment and linking macros to get myself going off of, I want to say in the end was about 10 lists.
Cool.
Yeah, we used some macros to go between, I think we had 2 or 3 queue lists for the pixel mapping especially.
Cool.
Yeah, I don't think we actually ended up needing to fire off different lists, so we got away with just one queue stack.
It's just kind of interesting how different people lay out their console and run shows, so it's very cool.
All right. Well, congratulations again, everybody that submitted. Congratulations for making it into the top 3. We actually do have scorings from all of our 4 judges. So before we announce our winners, I think, Maegan, you have a couple of things that you wanted to bring up before we get there.
Yeah. So I really just wanted to emphasize, especially if y'all have seen Hog Factor before, we usually aren't able to have this back and forth. So even though we got to, or at least not publicly where everyone can see, which I think is also useful, so everyone gets these comments, whether or not you actually designed, or you're an up and coming designer at the same time, or you're currently just waiting for work to happen because COVID shut everything down. I think this was a really unique opportunity that we got to take advantage of and present a lot of back and forth between the judges, between the teams that submitted. And I think it's just really valuable for us to hit and show hey, this, even though we had to pivot how our experience normally would have been, this is still a really good experience at the end. But with that being said, are we ready for places?
I think we are. So we're going to announce second place first, then we're going to announce the first place winner, and then we're going to announce the third place winner. So second place. Coming in second place, this team has won a Hedgehog 4X console for their school. The students attend, and this second place award goes to Texas State University. There's a drum roll there too. So congratulations, and Maegan, are you ready to announce first place?
Yeah. So coming in first place, which means the team has won a Roadhog 4 for the school. The first place team is Webster University. Yay!
Congratulations, Webster. And that means that coming in third place, who has won a Hoglet 4 for his school, is Southern Methodist University, Philip Powers.
Yay! Congrats, guys.
All right. Well, congratulations. We'll get with all of y'all and getting those prizes out to everybody. And Maegan, I think you want to do a little bit of an outro.
Yeah. So again, thanks everyone for your submissions. Whether or not you made it to the top 3, I was part of the judging, and it was all really good. All the people that submitted, they had a really good job. And then thank you guys for joining us today, judges, viewers, teams. We all really appreciate y'all coming together and showing support. And judges, thanks for donating your time and your feedback for us and giving awesome critiques and everything to the schools. It was great. If you are a college student or professor and you would like to be involved in Hog Factor in the future, make sure to keep following us on social media, just High End Systems, and we will post whenever we are going to start the next round of competition. Bye, guys.
Thank you, everybody.